Good afternoon. Today is the 9th of July 2013. My name is Bruce. I've been a YouTuber for a number of years, but only vicariously. That is, I've really only watched a lot of videos. I comment on most of them that I watch. But I have yet to try to make a video of my own. This is my first attempt, so I beg you to bear with me. I will try to keep it short. It's going to be a little bit of an introduction, just talk. I'm 71 years old. I'm a retired scientist. Like the other famous Bruce, I was born in America. However, I've lived in Europe for the last almost 50 years. I grew up south of Chicago, went to the University of Illinois and Purdue University, received a bachelor's degree in microbiology from Purdue in 1965. Boy, yeah. Did I say I was 71 years old? Yes. Okay. 1965. And in 1965, I came to Europe. My grandfather had been had quite a strong influence on me when I was young. And he had come from, well, originally from Switzerland. But his father did restoration work on big buildings, particularly historical buildings, castles and so on. And so he had spent most of his life in Europe traveling from one castle to another, and he told me stories that of course I found extremely exciting as a child. And so in 1965, when I had my bachelor's degree, I decided to come to Europe and look around, and if possible do my postgraduate work in Europe. That is exactly what happened. I wound up in Tübingen, south of Stuttgart, Germany, at the Max Planck Institute for Biological Cybernetics, where I worked towards my PhD, which I received in 1973. I stayed at that institute doing what amounts to brain research until 1976, and then I took a position as a staff scientist at a university north of Frankfurt in Gießen, from whence I retired a few years ago. I'm still very active in translating scientific and technical papers. I really am not involved in science in any way beyond doing translating work. My main work was with the electron microscope. I fell in love with the microscope when I was a youngster. We visited I think possibly from our school, we visited an oil refinery, and I saw my first RCA electron microscope. I must have been 10 years old, or maybe a little older. And as soon as I got to Purdue, I started looking around for an electron microscope, which I found, and actually did some work as an undergraduate there, and then came to Germany, where at the Max Planck Institute I was given my own electron microscope, and until recently I could sit down at the instrument any time and look at whatever I wanted. In the meantime, I'm happy not to have to do that anymore. I enjoy working in the garden, and this is what I'm going to probably make most of my YouTube videos on, working on this house that my wife and I bought 8 years ago. It's a very large house, 4 stories. It's a stone house, a historical building, was built in 1900, and as an abbey, a home for an order of Catholic nuns. We bought it from the church in 2005. It was in derelict condition. The stone masonry needed to be re-chinked and reworked. It needed some work on the roof, and particularly the gutters needed to be replaced. More importantly, perhaps, it needed 47 new windows. We had that work done. After that, we did all the work ourselves. My wife, Karen, learned to plaster walls in the old manner, not using plasterboard, but actually plastering. She's done one whole floor using clay, a natural material that has very wonderful properties. It's very difficult to apply, however. And I've learned to do carpentry. I've done all of the electrical work, plumbing work. And we've both become very involved in our yards and gardens. We have a large yard. It's about 2,500 square meters or 25,000 square feet. And I will be showing the work that we are doing. What we have done, I will have to show as slideshows because I don't have any videos on those on that work. But I have lots of pictures, so I can present some slideshows of the work we've done so far, and what we do from now on I will try to capture on video. I'm using a very simple Canon Ixus camera. I think the video quality is adequate, at least for what I have to show here for the time being. If I get into this and it's fun and people seem interested, then I'll probably wind up buying a video camera and spending more time editing. At the moment I'm just going to use Windows Movie Maker and see if I can get this put up. Thank you very much for your interest. Thanks for watching, and if I get this up, I'll make another video in the next couple of days.